This review on Dragon Rider Network was brought to you by Optoma.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Connor Mitchell from Dragon Rider Network, and today I'm here reviewing a product called the Optoma ML300 Projector. First of all, a very huge thanks to the company Optoma for sending this out for a review. Their links will be down in the description below. And they were grateful enough to ship this out for a brief review for me to do on this channel, and a very huge thanks to them. This is an insanely huge product, especially for reviewing of this caliber, I guess. And this is my long-awaited review of this product. So anyway, let's get started. So anyway, when I start talking about the Optoma ML300, this projector right here, we're going to talk about it in three parts: design, features, and performance. This will measure it out in each part, and it'll be kind of easier to keep track of all this stuff. Design and features will be a little bit combined, however performance will be its own thing entirely, where you get to see an actual performance of how this projector can actually project images onto a flat surface. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with design and features of this projector. So this projector comes at you for $500. Links for item information can be found on Optoma's website, and you can buy it at Amazon.com. Both links will be down below. So anyway, this projector will push out 300 lumens of brightness for those of you concerned about how bright it is. Now, compared to an older projector, which is the Optoma PK301, which I reviewed previously, that is about 6 times brighter than how bright it can produce, which is 50 lumens. On the body, you'll find a full-sized USB port. You'll also find other various connectors, which should be familiar on the PK301 as well. You'll find a headphone audio jack, which can obviously be used for speakers as well. You can find the DC input, you can find the power button, you can find the micro USB port, much like on the PK301. You can find audio and video in for analog audio and video. They have a mini HDMI port, which was concerning to me and disappointing because they did not include a full-sized HDMI port on a device of this size, which was questionable, but still, if they wanted to keep things small, I guess that had to work. And they also have a VGA input port, so that way you can connect this to your computer, or you can connect other third-party accessories which connect via a VGA port. The projector comes with a very nice carrying case provided by Optoma. You can see I have one right here. It's a very nice carrying case, very simple, comes with a zip-up and 2 different sections. I found this to be a lot better than the Optoma PK301, which is basically just a little tiny sleeve with a zipper at the top for your projector. The ML300 comes with a brand new button layout, which Optoma introduced on its PK320, ML300, and ML500 at CES 2012. This allows for much nicer menu navigation and much easier capabilities that the projector can do. And this projector specifically is 3D capable, so it can actually project a 3D image which you can view if you have the right technology. Unfortunately though, I do not possess 3D technology other than my Blu-ray player, and I don't have 3D movies or a 3D TV, so I really had no way to test this functionality out. So now let's get into the good and the bad of the design and the features of this projector. The very first thing that's good about this projector is that it is still incredibly small for a projector of its class. At 300 lumens, that's pretty bright, even in a bit of brightness, including a room kind of like this. And a lot of other projectors like that would actually be way bigger and not so portable as this one right here. It's really good for people living in small areas like a dorm room or an apartment or a studio kind of like this. I mean, it's really small, definitely one that you can keep around the house when you want to host your very own little movie night and project it up onto a wall. And it's really, really nice. The biggest thing, probably to me, is that this projector, because it has its full-size USB port, can now accept way more file types than the PK301 could. The PK301 typically only accepted like very small WMV and 3GP files, which are typically only compatible with cell phones, so they look terrible. But this one was compatible with MOV, MPEG, and so many more formats that were much more open to different tech products. And the ML300 did a great job at supporting all of them. And like I said before, with the new menu introduced, it is much easier navigation than ever before. Like for example, when you're in a menu, it will say, do you want to continue to this action? And it will give you a circle for yes and an X for no. And it's a very simple navigation. Now here's some of the bad. The first bad thing, which I noticed as soon as I unboxed it, and unfortunately didn't notice until I fully unboxed it, is that this is not a battery-powered projector, unfortunately. So that means if you are on the go without a power source such as a wall outlet or an internal portable battery or some kind that you can plug this into, then there really is no way to watch it on the go if you're just hanging out in a coffee shop or some other place where you just want to show friends some pictures on a ceiling or on a table. The PK301 and the PK320 are both battery operated, for those of you wanting to know which one of these is battery operated. This projector does heat up quite a bit from what I've noticed. I mean, it doesn't heat up to the point where it's crazy, but the fan will kick in pretty loud in order to keep it pretty chill. And even then, in a small room like this, you can notice that it's a little bit heated when you've been using it for about an hour. And finally, some ports are indeed limited, such as the mini HDMI port. I would have really liked them to see them include an HDMI port of full size on a projector of this size. However, it's not an entirely big deal, as I do have an HDMI to mini HDMI cord, and it works just as well. So anyway, the ML300 has definitely taken a huge leap forward in terms of design and features. It is something definitely worth considering if you are looking at the PK320, and definitely something worth thinking about if you are moving up from the PK301. Alright, so we are now down here in my basement forming the performance portion of the review of the Optoma ML300. Behind me is the biggest wall in our house, which I think measures out to be about 10 feet or 120 inches. And basically, this is the wall that I did the Optoma PK301 testing on. If you guys were long-time viewers, you would remember that downstairs at like the near end of the review. But anyway, this is basically where I talk about how well the projector performs and how well it does at doing what it's supposed to do. So anyway, let's go ahead and start that. So anyway, the Optoma ML300 can project up to 160 inches. That is 40 inches bigger than the Optoma PK301 could produce. And it's 6 times brighter at 300 lumens compared to the Optoma PK301 at 50 lumens and the Optoma PK320 at 100 lumens. So it's 3 to 6 times brighter than the other two Optoma projectors that Optoma is currently selling. It has an automatic angle detection, and I'm not sure about the PK320, but the ML300 can automatically detect at what angle you're holding it at, so that way it can project a straight image right onto a wall. And like I've said before, it has 3D capabilities. Unfortunately though, I do not have the 3D technology in order to view this, so once again I am unable to judge it for myself. So let's start with the good. This projector projects some incredibly clear and bright images. It's much more clear than the Optoma PK301, which was a little bit soft at times. This is much brighter and much more clear. It's also a lot easier to focus the ML300 because it has a much bigger and much easier ring in order to adjust the focus on. Navigation menus are also a lot more clear with the new button layout and the new menu layout, so that way they're much easier to understand and control. Gaming is surprisingly a lot better on the ML300 than the PK301, It's still not perfect compared to an LCD TV if you're a true gamer, but it still is quite a bit better than the PK301, which for me would lag at some points and wouldn't look as good. The ML300 definitely does pick some of that up, but not as much as an LCD TV. And finally, this projector can in fact deliver quite decent images in well lit rooms. Now, it's not perfect and completely viewable as you would want to watch a movie, but it still is pretty good. The only bad part I found about this projector is that the ability to focus and get a perfect shot for when you're watching something like a movie still isn't perfect, but it's still a lot better than the PK301. So my thoughts on the Optoma ML300's performance is that it honestly blows away any other pocket projector that I have seen recently, and would definitely meet the standards of most mini home theater setups. So anyway guys, that is my review of the Optoma ML300. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thanks to the guys over at Optoma for sending this out for a review. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel for more tech content like this. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and be sure to check out the website DragonRiderNetwork.com. All links will be down in the description below. Anyway guys, I will catch you at the next video. Talk to you then.